Hey everybody, and welcome to Epic Everyday, our weekday podcast for busy, stressed out Christians who want to really thrive and not just survive. I'm Liz Frericks, and this is my husband Evan.
Good morning.
And we're so glad you guys are here with us on this wonderful Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you for tuning into the show or downloading the show. We really appreciate it. And we ask that if this episode is meaningful to you or makes you think about something in a different way, share it with a friend and see what they think about it. And if you want to get in touch with us about the show, you can do that over Twitter or Facebook. The links are below. We'd love to hear what you think about it too, but we'd really like it if you shared the show with a friend or an enemy, I guess. Someone, an acquaintance.
You're like, listen to this. You totally need to change.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
Yeah.
But that's why we're making this show. We want people to listen to it and to think about their spiritual life and take their relationship with God intentionally and seriously.
So this week we are doing a deep dive of the CSCs, Tai Chi principles that are really the pathway to, kind of a condensed version of the Christian life. So it's an easy list that you can just run through any given moment of the day to kind of snap yourself back into alignment.
Yeah, and it's kind of this, it is the structure that we build the show around too. Every Monday through Friday, we talk about one of the CSCs, and they are being calm, surrendered, centered, connected, and complete. And so today's Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we talk about being centered and what that means in our spiritual life.
Being centered is living out of the essence of who God designed you to be.
Yeah, and this is important. I think when we are not doing this, we're comparing ourselves to other people. Yeah. And we're kind of taking score and trying to figure out if they're a little bit more mature or they're a little bit more rich or they're more ahead somehow than us. And why is that? And, oh man, somebody's, put me down somehow. I don't have as much access to something or, it's kind of like when I talk to our girls and there's a little bit of jealousy happening or a little bit of something, and it's like, well, don't worry about what your sister's doing. What did I ask you to do? And I think God gently does that with us all the time. What did I ask you to do? What did I make you to do?
Yeah.
I gave you a personality. I gave you DNA. I gave you certain passions and interests. So do that. And work on those things. Don't worry about those guys over there.
I find it so fascinating because we just have such different personalities. I can totally see that as being something that you struggled with growing up.
Sure.
For me, I think this one is more about embracing who I am. Because for a long time, I didn't really want to be myself.
So some self-loathing.
Yeah. So being able to just be like, yep, God created me as a masterpiece, and what does it look like to be the best version of myself? That's really what this is about.
And at the same time, though, you can sit there and think about that for forever. I mean, it takes being in touch with God to figure out what that really even means.
Right.
What his idea of your life is like. Like, what did he make you to do? There's that verse in Ephesians 2:10 where it talks about God making us to do good works that he has specifically ordained for me to do and for you. Like, not just good works in general. Like, if you see an old lady, help her across the street, but something that he wants me.
Tailored just to you.
Right. And I'm equipped to do those things because of my personality and but also the ways I need to change as I grow in my faith.
Right.
And so you're talking about kind of being okay with that and kind of even liking yourself in some of the ways that you are.
Right, yeah. I mean, definitely, I think there's some comparison there, but just being able to embrace, yep, this is who God made me to be, and that's a good thing.
That is a really good thing. That's a really powerful thing.
Yeah. And I think when we know ourselves and then we align our lives with who God's designed us to be, it's magical. It's amazing. One of the books that I always come back to is A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett.
Yeah. You should read it if you haven't.
It's amazing.
You can listen to it for free on LibriVox.
It's true. But so one of the characters, the main character, Sarah, she is, at this point in the story, horribly poor and starving. But one of the things that she had decided long before was that she's going to act like a princess. regardless of her circumstances. And so when someone gives her, well, when she finds some money on the ground and she is like, oh, I could buy some bread with this and have something to eat for the first time in days, she goes in and she buys some bread. And then there's a little girl sitting outside the bakery door who's even hungrier than she is. And she's like, what would a princess do? She would share the largesse with the peasants. So she shares her food, even though she's starving.
Yes, right.
But it's because of her commitment to be who she sees herself as. And if we really do see ourselves as God's children and we live that out, it changes how we live.
Definitely. I think we struggle with this as Christians because we also know that we're supposed to not lose sight of the fact that we're sinners and that we're
broken.
We're dust, we're broken. Like there are these things that, because we can't get prideful about it. But
right.
So, some people might struggle with pride. Some people might struggle with this self-loathing. And they both need to be like, God, how do you see me? What's really going on here? But I think that is so important. I think that equips us so well to act in faith and to have confidence in doing the things that we feel like God's called us to do. I mean, if we're so down on ourselves, we're not going to take a risk and try to do something that we feel like we're being called to do, and then we're not going to be fulfilling our mission.
Yeah, one of the things I wrote down is that God made you for a reason. Every moment you spend trying to be someone else is a wasted moment.
Who said that? Anonymous?
No,
or did you just make that up?
I just made it up.
All right, that's good.
But yeah, and we want to be who God created us to be. And I think a big part of that is working to be emotionally healthy. I mean, Peter Cesaro put out he's got a lot of stuff, but a book, a class, some videos on his website.
He teaches on emotional healthy spirituality.
And, one of the things he talks about is that we can't grow spiritually unless we're growing emotionally as well. And that is true.
Yeah, so there's this balance of I'm going to accept myself and I'm going to be okay with myself, but we're also pushing ourselves to grow and change.
Right, because we're being the best version of ourselves.
Yeah, right now, we've got to, if we're honest with ourselves, we know what could change, what could be better.
Right. Maybe you're somebody that has rage problems, and the best version of yourself is someone who handles anger well. Or maybe you're somebody who is consumed with anxiety, and the best version of yourself has peace. And so working to be like, okay, I see those glimmers there. I know that God is working this in my life. The Bible says this is my birthright as a child of God, so how do I get from A to B?
Yeah, and I think that's so key. Seeing what the Bible says is supposed to be involved in our lives, We are supposed to have peace. We are supposed to have an abundant life. So if that's not happening,
there's a problem.
We don't want to just be looking within, though. We want to be looking to God. If he says you're a co-heir with Christ and a joint heir of salvation, we've got to believe, it's our calling to believe that and to act in that and to pursue that calling and that, the things that the kinds of things we're supposed to be doing as a joint heir with Christ.
One of the other resources that's been really helpful for our family is Carol Tuttle's personality types, her energy types. She goes through 4 different personality types, and it's been really great.
Yeah, very, very good.
We learned that several years ago, and it completely transformed how we related to each other, because we have different personality types in our family, and being able to recognize this is what you need because of your personality type, and to not resent the other person.
Yeah, she's so good at, and I think other personality type tests kind of systems do this too, where it's if you need to have a well-rounded team. Right. You don't want all just one type of person on a team, and Carol Tuttle illustrates that so beautifully and talks about the strength. There's strengths and limitations with each personality type. It's not God really didn't know what he's doing when he made those kind of people. That was kind of a mess up. There's none of that. It's all this is very important. This thing where you are so creative and you start projects well, that's a strength. But then let's pair you with someone who can finish projects and is a little bit more organized, and work together. Like, we need that. And so, yeah, there's a lot of acceptance there. We might start to see some of those personality traits as flaws. And if it's really something that God has hardwired into us, it's got to be a strength, and it's got to be useful in the world. He wants us to do something with that.
And if you have any trauma background, one of the things that I adore about her system is, she's very passionate about trauma stuff too, but it's based on your facial features and your unconscious personality traits. So, like, one of the things is how you like to keep your desk. Sometimes if you have a trauma background, you've lost a lot of yourself because of that. You shift how you handle people, how you handle situations.
Yeah, you might be play acting.
To the trauma.
You might be play acting your whole life.
Right.
And if you go through some of these steps and kind of uncover some of your more default settings, there's so much relief. I remember seeing the relief go through you when you were like, I don't have to act like this. I can act like this. I thought that doing all that stuff was kind of a nuisance and a flaw.
Yes. Yeah, it was like Christmas.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Totally worth doing.
Yeah, we want to realize that. I think we accept that God created us physically, but he made us our personality too.
Yeah.
And that's some good clues as to the kinds of things he wants you to do.
Totally. And the last resource I wanted to throw out there really quick is The Sacred Six by J.B. Glassinger. And this has been another game changer for us. We kind of just talk about the game changers on the show in general, but this is one of my favorites too. Being able to schedule our week and my day, and it really breaks things down into what are your goals, and making sure that your goals are aligned with who you are, and not just aligned with here's what I think I should be doing because here's what everybody else thinks I should be doing. I am a goal person, so.
Right, but yeah, like you said, it's so easy to be like, oh, everybody's setting goals about like
health.
Right, I guess I better do that too. Yeah.
Or it was another major game changer for me to be able to align, drill my goals down based on my values and my mission, and have those all in alignment, and then have my projects in alignment with that, and my daily tasks, and to schedule my life. That's why I get excited on Mondays.
Yeah.
I wasn't excited on Mondays before I did the Sacred Six.
That's true.
But once I did the Sacred Six and I restructured my life so that I'm moving forward in the things that are most important to me every single day, I get super excited on Monday because I have a whole week to make all this progress, and it's going to be awesome by the time I get to the end of the week, and I can look back and be like, oh, look, here's what I did this week. Here's all, and I have, ways to keep track of it.
Yeah, I love how in that the first thing you do is you take some inventory of yourself, you think about what your values are, and you're really building off of your core values. How else would you set goals? I guess, like we said, you do it by comparing yourself to other people.
Right.
But this is a way to be like, okay, I really value justice. And God must have made me that way. I'm going to pursue that.
As always, pick whether today is going to be awesome or not, whether you're going to strengthen those neural pathways to look for the best thing since sliced bread, or whether you're going to be like, oh man, my life is horrible. It's a tragedy. Because you have a choice.
Yeah, you'll find what you look for.
Exactly. We love you guys, and we are praying for you. Thanks to everybody that's been listening to the show and sharing the show. We really appreciate it. If you have found this episode helpful, please do share it. And if you try any of these awesome resources that we've shared today, let us know, because we would love to hear your thoughts on them.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow, and we are going to continue our deep dive and talk about being connected.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you then.
Have an awesome Wednesday, you guys.